Isle of Wight Volunteer Stories is a podcast brought to you by the Isle of Wight Volunteer Centre, celebrating the wonderful contribution that volunteers make to island life. We'll be hearing about the different roles and activities that people do, what they get out of it, and what motivates them to start in the first place. Volunteers share some of the highs and lows of their lives, talk about the skills that they learn and the connections that they make on their volunteer journey. We hope this podcast will give you an insight into a world you may not be familiar with, will demonstrate that volunteers come from all walks of life, and perhaps it will inspire you to start your own volunteer story. If you would like to find out more about how to volunteer, or if you're an organisation looking for volunteers on the Isle of Wight, please go to our website www.iwvolunteer.org or email us on volunteer@actioniw.org.uk. I'm Sandy Cicognani from Community Action Isle of Wight, and I'll be your host on this podcast. Today I'm at Ability Dogs for Young People at Sandown Airport, and I'm talking to Mads West. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Sandy.
Hello. Let's start with if you could just introduce yourself and tell me what it is. What's your role here?
Hi, I live in Ryde and I'm a volunteer puppy parent. I joined in summer last year, and I look after Brooke, who is almost 2 years old and is about to graduate into the realms of being with a recipient.
Mm-hmm. So. Okay, and what is it you do exactly?
Well, I come along weekly to puppy training classes, mm-hmm. and I have an instruction book of commands that we all have to learn. And Brooke gets to live with the family and join in all the things that I do, such as trips to the hairdresser and the dentist and doctor, and round shops and walking and socialising with people and other dogs.
Excellent. And what sort of first made you want to volunteer, and why here?
A number of years ago, I bumped into a group of people who were out with puppies wearing the uniform that this group wears, the dark green. And it just seemed such a good idea that I would like to get involved in the future. But I had my own dog at the time and decided that once my own dog was no longer with me, that's what I wanted to do. So Daisy died in the summer of last year, and within a few weeks I'd come along to this and had to restrain myself from wanting to roll around with all these beautiful puppies. And then by October I had Brooke move in with me, and she's been with me since then. As I say, she'll probably move on in the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what's the sort of standard time?
Well, the puppies, we try not to have them with more than 3 puppy parents in the time that they're with us. Mm. But at the same time, we don't want them to get so attached that they will then be difficult to move on to a recipient.
Yeah.
So they're with us for roughly, I think the first one is up to about a year, roughly. Sometimes might be a little bit younger. Then they go on to somebody else, and I'm one of the final stage.
Yeah. Oh,
so I get a dog that's pretty well trained by the time it comes to me. But they do train from the minute they're with a puppy parent at 8 weeks.
And for those that don't know anything about sort of ability dogs, what are the dogs there for?
The dogs are there to support young people with a variety of disabilities, and it could be anything from anxiety, right the way to cerebral palsy, somebody who's in a wheelchair, somebody who needs help dressing, or somebody who just needs help socially.
Yeah.
So we've got a few recipients with autism, and these dogs honestly change people's lives. We have one young chap who had a dog about 8 years ago, and he was not very sociable. He just would sit in a corner and not want to talk to anybody, not come out of his room. And now he's at college, or he's been to college, he's now working. He lives semi-independently, and he actually took part in the interview process for one of our advanced trainers recently. Brilliant. So we've got another one who's with a girl who's self-harmed, who has not done it for ever since she's had this puppy. I know another one who's gone to somebody in a wheelchair who was severely disabled, was severely depressed, and just it was difficult for her even to get up in the day. And now she's got something else to care for and focus on. She's a completely different person.
Yeah. Mm.
And honestly, they change people's lives. They're a conversation starter.
Yes.
If you are uncomfortable socially, you've always got a dog to focus on when you're in a social situation, that kind of thing.
Fabulous. I can sort of imagine what the answer is going to be, but what is it that you get out of coming, and what keeps you coming back?
Well, all the people here are absolutely brilliant. The CEO of the charity, her main focus is on the well-being of the dog. The dog's happiness and well-being is the most important thing of the charity, even secondary to what they're going to end up doing. So they have to be happy in what they do and want to do it and everything like that. And they're just such lovely dogs. They are gorgeous dogs. They're very, very carefully selected. We've got Labradors of various different varieties, and we've got what we call the Fluffies, who are small poodle mated with retrievers. So that they're sort of a medium-sized dog, but they're hypoallergenic. But it's all done so carefully. The welfare of the dog is really important. And as I'm a complete dog lover, if you ever see me at the beach, I will be saying hello to your dog. So yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing charity. I've seen how it changes people's lives, and I've got this gorgeous dog living with me who I love to pieces. And yes, it's going to be very, very hard to give her up.
Yes, I was going to say that must be one of the sort of little drawbacks of this role.
Yes, but at the same time, I know she's going to go on to do amazing things. And also, somebody pointed out to me, I will never have to do that final trip to the vet with a dog again, which was when you've got a family dog. It's a horrible thing to have to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an amazing thing to do. It's lovely, and it is. As much as people do say to me, "Oh, you're doing an amazing thing," but to be quite honest, I'm getting as much, if not more, out of it myself personally. So it's sort of a double-edged thing for me there.
Excellent, thank you. And just one more question: what sort of person do you think this role would suit? Is it just anyone who's mad about dogs?
Anybody who's mad about dogs, anybody who's willing to readjust themselves for what they know about dog training to what the commands are of the charity here, because we do have a very set routine, which you have to, and just patience. Our dogs, nobody shouts at these dogs. They've never been shouted at or threatened to try and get them to comply with something. You need to sort of be calm with them and be just nice and kind, and a dog lover.
So you are sort of training the dogs, but presumably you've had some training yourself.
Yes,
here.
yeah,
What was that
and you
like?
sort of learn on the job as well. I came along for several weeks just to classes and was given a well-trained dog to use. I'll tell you what though, the dogs do know if you're a bit green in this, because they'll look at you and go, you don't know what you're doing, and they will take advantage because they're very clever.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'll let you get back to your training, but it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you very much.